everyone. Greetings of the day, all the educators and learners across the world. I'm Fauzia Begum, an assistant professor of English, soft skill trainer, and communication skills coach, and faculty development coach with 21 years of experience in teaching and training. I'm passionate about helping learners enhance their communication skills and master the nuances of the English language. Welcome to my channel, The Brightening Star Academy, a sphere of knowledge and skills, where I bring engaging lessons on English grammar, communication skills, and professional development. If you are here to refine your language skills and gain confidence in English, you are in the right place. Language is not just about what we say, but also about how we convey what others have said. This is where reported speech plays a crucial role. Whether you are a student, a professional, or an educator, mastering reported speech is essential for effective communication, academic writing, journalism, and even business correspondence. It allows us to accurately convey information from one person to another, maintain clarity and correctness in communication, avoid misinterpretation of spoken or written statements, follow proper grammatical structures while reporting speech. Throughout this session, we will explore the rules, types, and transformations involved in reported speech, along with practical examples to help you use it confidently. So, let's begin this insightful journey into reported speech in English grammar. Definition of reported speech. Reported speech, also known as indirect speech, is a way of reporting what someone else has said without quoting their exact words. Instead of using direct speech, quoting the exact words with quotation marks, we rephrase the statement while maintaining its meaning. Moving on to know about the rules, which changes from one tense to another. Rule number 1. All the present tenses are changed to the corresponding past tense in indirect speech. Rule number 2. Present perfect changes to past perfect. Rule number 3. Present continuous changes to past continuous. Rule number 4. Present perfect changes to past perfect. Rule number 5. Simple past changes to past perfect. Rule number 6. Past continuous changes to past perfect continuous tense. And rule number 7. Future changes to present conditional. Now, we need to know about the related information about how the sentences changes from direct to indirect and indirect to direct. There are some changes occurs from one sentence to another. The first one is tense changes. Second point, pronoun changes. Third point, modal verb changes. Fourth point, question words changes. Fifth point, reporting verbs. And the sixth point is time expressions. We will see one by one. Tense changes. When reporting speech, the tense often changes. For instance, if the direct speech is in the present tense, it usually changes to the past tense in the reported speech. For example, I'm happy becomes he said he was happy. Pronoun changes. Pronouns can change according to the subject and the object of the reporting sentence. Example, I love chocolate can become she said she loved chocolate. Modal verbs. Modal verbs like can, will, may often also change in reported speech. Example, I can swim becomes he said he could swim. Question words. When reporting questions, the structure can change. Example, are you coming becomes he asked if I was coming. Reporting verbs. Apart from said and told, you can also use other reporting verbs like claimed, advised, suggested, etc. based on what the speech is about. Example, you should try it becomes he suggested that I should try it. Time expressions. Words like today, now, tomorrow often change in reported speech. Example, I'm busy today becomes he said he was busy that day. Exercise. Rewrite the following sentences in indirect speech. Try using reporting verbs such as assure, promise, etc. to indicate the function performed by the reported sentences. Dear learners, in the above sentence, since the reporting verb said is in the past tense, the present continuous tense am returning changes to the past continuous was returning. And the time expression is the phrase next Saturday changes to the following Saturday to maintain clarity in its reported speech. And reporting verb selection, the verb assured is used to reflect confidence and certainty in Hassan's statement, indicating a commitment to his action. If I see Jay, I shall certainly bring him here. If I see Jay, I shall certainly bring him here, said Dr. Singh. Answer: Dr. Singh promised that if he saw Jay, he would certainly bring him there. Dear learners, here tense shift is, since the reporting verb said is in the past, the present tense verb see changes to the past tense saw and shall changes to would in reported speech. About pronoun change, the first person pronoun I is adjusted to match the speaker Dr. Singh. And time and place adjustment here is replaced with the they to maintain proper reference to indirect speech. And reporting verb choice, the verb promised is used because Dr. Singh is making a commitment to an action. Helen writes very well, said her friend. Answer: her friend stated that Helen wrote very well. In this statement, tense shift is the simple present writes changes to the simple past wrote because the reporting verb said is in the past. Reporting verb choice, stated is used as a neutral reporting verb to indicate the expression of a fact. Pronoun retention, since Helen is a proper noun, it remains unchanged. Kurian built a house in my village last year, said Chinnu. Answer: Chinnu stated that Kurian had a built house in his village the previous year. Knowing about the tense shift here, the simple past built changes to the past perfect had built to indicate an action completed before the time of reporting. About the pronoun change, my changes to their to match the perspective of Chinnu. And time expression change, last year changes to the previous year in the reported speech. Reporting verb choice, stated is used as a neutral verb to indicate a factual statement. Everybody will say to them, you did a great job. Answer: everybody will tell them that they had done a great job. In this statement, reporting verb change is say to is replaced with tell because say is typically not used with an indirect object in reported speech. About the tense shift, the simple past did changes to the past perfect had done to reflect the sequence of events. About the pronoun retention, them remains unchanged as it correctly refers to the people being addressed. About the sentence structure, that is introduced as a conjunction smoothly connect the reported speech. The officer said, some of the animals have been saved. Answer: the officer stated that some of the animals had been saved. In the above statement, the present perfect have been saved changes to the past perfect had been saved because the reporting verb said is in the past. About the reporting verb and choice, stated is used as a neutral verb to indicate a factual statement. And coming to pronoun and subject retention, some of the animals remains unchanged as it doesn't require modification in indirect speech. The teacher said, Hitler became the Chancellor of Germany in 1933. Answer: the teacher stated that Hitler had become the Chancellor of Germany in 1933. In the above sentence, no tense change since the event is a historical fact, the simple past remains the same in the indirect speech. Coming to reporting verb choice, stated is used as a neutral reporting verb to indicate the relaying of a fact. And in this, no pronoun change. Proper nouns like Hitler remains unchanged. And date retention, the year 1933 remains the same as it is a fixed historical reference. Let's have a farewell dinner for our chairperson, the director said. Answer: the director suggested that they should have a farewell dinner for their chairperson. In the above sentence, reporting verb choice suggested is used because the statement is in a proposal rather than a command or fact. Coming to change in structure, the phrase let us is transformed into should to maintain the suggestion's meaning in indirect speech. Coming to pronoun adjustment, are changes to their to align with the third person perspective in reported speech. Sunita said to me, "Your letter will not reach me as I am leaving the city today." Answer: Sunita told me that my letter would not reach her as she was leaving the city that day. In the above statement, will not changes to would not, am leaving changes to was leaving. Pronoun adjustment, your changes to mine to match the first person perspective of the listener. Me changes to her, and time expression today changes to that day in reported speech. The nurse said to the patient, "Has the pain become worse?" Answer: the nurse asked the patient whether the pain had become worse. The above sentence, asked, is used because it is a question. Change in question structure. The direct question, "Has the pain become worse?" is converted into an indirect question using whether or if. Coming to tense shift, the present perfect has become changes to the past perfect had become in reported speech. Removal of the question mark, indirect speech does not retain the question mark since it becomes a statement. "Did you know that I'm your cousin's colleague?" said Kala to me. Answer: Kala asked me whether I had known that she was my cousin's colleague. In the above statement, reporting verb choices asked is used since it is a question. About the tense shift, did you know past simple changes to had known past perfect. Am present changes to was in reported speech. And about the pronoun adjustment, I changes to she to refer to Kala. Your changes to my to match the listener's perspective. Changes in question structure, the yes-no question is transformed into indirect question using whether or if. Removal of question marks, indirect question do not remain the question mark. He said to you, "What's the price of this tray?" Answer: he asked you what the price of that tray was. In this statement, the verb choice is asked is used since it is a question. Word order change. In reported speech, the sentence follows the structure of a statement. Was comes after tray instead of before it. Demonstrative change. This changes to that in reported speech. And about the tense shift, the present is changes to the past was since the reporting verb is in the past. Question mark removal. Indirect question do not retain the question mark. Are you walking with me to the beach? The boy said to his friends. Answer: the boy asked his friends whether they were walking with him to the beach. Whole sentence, asked is used as a question. Tense shift is about the present continuous are walking changes to were walking, and pronoun you changes to they to match the third person reference. Me changes to him to refer to the boy. Change in question structure, the yes-no question is introduced with whether or if in indirect. Removal of question mark, indirect speech does not retain the question mark. Anju said to Neil, "Which shirt did you send to the laundry?" Answer: Anju asked Neil which shirt he had sent to the laundry. In the above sentence, asked is used as a question. The simple past did send changes to the past perfect had sent, and the pronoun you changes to he to refer to Neil, and the question format is retained, which shirt remained at the beginning. The auxiliary did is removed because it is no longer needed in the past perfect form. Removal of question mark, that is indirect question, do not retain the question mark. Everybody will say to her, how does it feel to be home? Answer, everybody would ask her how it feels to be home. Above sentence, ask is used as it is a question. Tense retention, since the reporting verb will say is in the future, the present tense does feel simplified to feels. And coming to question change, the W's question how does it feel is transformed to a statement how it feels in reported speech. And indirect questions do not retain the question mark. Do you practice regularly? Said the coach to the athlete. Answer, the coach asked the athlete whether they practiced regularly. Both sentence asked is used since it is a question, and simple present do practice changes to the simple past practiced in reported speech. And pronoun you changes to they to match the third person reference. And the yes no question is introduced with whether or if in indirect speech, and auxiliary verb do is removed. Removal of question mark, that is indirect question, do not retain the question mark. The guest said, why is the room so stuffy? Answer, the guest asked why the room was so stuffy. The above sentence, asked is used since it is a question. The present tense is changes to the past was in reported speech. No pronoun changes. The subject, the room remains the same. Question structure, the W's question, why is the room so stuffy, is turned into statement why the room was so stuffy in reported speech. And indirect question do not retain the question mark. Tony said to his teacher, please give me another day to complete my work. Answer, Tony requested his teacher to give him another day to complete his work. In the above sentence, requested is used instead of said because the sentence expresses a polite request. Me changes to him to reflect Tony in the third person, and my changes to his for the same reason. And the verb give remains in the base form because request in reported speech use the infinitive, that is to give. And please give me changes to requested to give in indirect. Indirect speech does not retain the question mark. Take the certificates that you left here today. Take the certificates that you left there 2 days ago, said the principal to the student. Answer, the principal instructed the student to take the certificates that they had left there 2 days earlier. Above sentence, instructed is used instead of said since it is a directive or command. And you changes to they to reflect the third person perspective. About the tense shift, left past simple changes to had left past perfect to maintain correct sequence of tenses. And here changes to there, and time expression 2 days ago changes to 2 days earlier. Imperative structure change, the command take the certificate is converted into infinitive phrase to take the certificate in direct speech. The general said to the soldiers, take a position to defend our camp against the enemy. Answer, the general commanded the soldiers to take a position to defend their camp against the enemy. Above sentence, ordered is used instead of said since it is a command. And our changes to their to reflect the perspective of soldiers. And direct command, the above statement, ordered is used instead of said since it is a command. Our changes to their. The direct command take up positions is transformed into to take up positions in indirect speech. And indirect speech does not retain question marks. And In the above statement, order is used instead of said since it is a command. Our changes to their. The command take up positions is transformed into to take up positions in indirect speech. Indirect speech, as we all know, does not retain quotation marks. Let the elderly, the women and the children be allowed to go unharmed, said the pilot. Answer. The pilot requested that the elderly, the women and the children be allowed to go unharmed. In the above sentence, requested is used instead of said since the statement expresses a plea or appeal. The passive imperative let be allowed remains unchanged in meaning, but it is introduced with requested that in indirect speech. And in this, no pronoun change since the sentence refers to a general group. No pronoun adjustment are needed. Indirect speech does not retain quotation marks. The managing director said, Mr. Gupta, will you be going to Sri Lanka next month? There is an international conference on herbal medicine in Colombo on the 15th. Answer. The managing director asked Mr. Gupta whether he would be going to Sri Lanka next month, mentioning that there was an international conference on herbal medicine in Colombo on the 15th. In the above sentence, asked is used because it is a question. Will you be going? Future continuous changes to would he be going in reported speech. You changes to he refers to Mr. Gupta in the third person. And will you be going is transformed into whether he would be going. The second sentence is integrated using mentioning that to maintain clarity. And no change in time expression since next month is still in the future. It remains unchanged. And as we all know, indirect speech does not retain quotation marks. What a pleasant surprise! I was longing to see you, said Shruti to her mother. Answer. Shruti exclaimed that it was a pleasant surprise what a pleasant surprise! I was longing to see you, said Shruti to her mother. Answer. Shruti exclaimed that it was a pleasant surprise and told her mother that she had been longing to see her. Above sentence, exclaimed is used for expressing strong emotions and told is used for direct communication. And was long, past continuous, changes to had been longing, past perfect continuous. Is in what a pleasant surprise changes to was to match the past tense narration. You changes to her, and exclamatory sentence structure change. What a pleasant surprise becomes exclaimed that it was a pleasant surprise in indirect. And as we all know, indirect speech does not retain quotation marks. Uncle said, Sharon, let us leave the car at the service station. Uma will pick it up tomorrow evening. Answer. Uncle suggested to Sharon that they leave the car at the service station and mentioned that Uma would pick it up the following evening. Above sentence, the verb suggested is used to convey the proposal made by uncle, and mentioned introduces the additional information about Uma's plan. And let us is transformed to they to maintain the third person perspective in reported speech. The future tense will pick it up changes to would pick it up to align with the past context of the reporting verb. Tomorrow evening is adjusted to the following evening to reflect this shift from direct to indirect speech. The imperative let us leave is rephrased to suggested that they leave to appropriately convey the suggestion in reported speech. Meenu said to them, please sit down. Did you want to speak to me about something? Answer. Meenu politely asked them to sit down and inquired if they wanted to speak to her about something. In the above sentence, requested is used for the polite imperative, please sit down. Asked is appropriate for the question, did you want to speak to me about something? Past simple, did you want changes to had wanted in reported speech. You changes to they, me changes to her. And to speak me about something is introduced with asked whether in indirect speech. Dear learners, as we conclude today's session on reported speech, I hope you have gained valuable insights into how it enhances clarity and accuracy in communication. Mastering this concept will not only improve your language skills, but also strengthen your ability to convey information effectively in academic, professional, and everyday contexts. Remember, learning is a continuous journey. The more you practice, the more confident you become in applying reported speech naturally. I wish you all the best in your learning and professional growth. Stay curious, stay committed, and keep refining your language skills. For more enriching sessions on English language, communication skills, and professional development, I invite you to stay connected with Brightening Star Academy, a sphere of knowledge and skills where knowledge meets inspiration. Subscribe to the channel and continue exploring new dimensions of learning with us. Thank you so much for your future endeavors and see you soon in the next session. Thank you once again.